Okay, right. Let me start again. Lesson 5, who am I? We use the word I a number of times a day, but we seldom try to understand its deeper meaning. What is the true significance of I? What does the word I actually refer to? Typically, you might wonder, what is there to think deeply about? Don't we already understand who I am? And you might respond by saying, I am a child or an adult, I'm a man or a woman, I'm a scholar, pandit, or a rich merchant. However, my question is, are you nothing beyond these? Are these just external, visible, temporary identities? What I mean to say is this: if you're a child, childhood is to come to an end someday, but you will continue to exist even afterwards. Therefore, you cannot be a child. Likewise, you cannot also be a young man. Childhood and youth are changes of the body, and the word I does not indicate body. I'm sure you do not regard your body as your own self. Some way you are a rich man because of your possession of wealth, but wealth and riches are going to disappear. When wealth disappears, will you also disappear? Scholarship is the name of knowledge of a few books. Did you not exist when you had no knowledge of such books? If you did exist, it is clear that you are distinct from wealth and scholarly knowledge. Thus, you are not a rich merchant or a scholar. Then the question arises, who am I? The seeker has forgotten the seeker himself. The whole world is so busy taking care of others that it has no time to think, who am I? Once this question emerges deeply from the heart and a genuine curiosity to solve it arises, then finding the answer is not difficult. However, this I is forgetting itself while searching for others. How peculiar it is that the seeker forgets the seeker himself. The entire world appears so occupied with looking after others that it doesn't have time to think and understand, who am I? I am distinct from the body, mind, speech, and from delusion, attachment, and aversion, and even from the momentary outward looking intellect. I'm eternal, existing in all three times, pure, beginless, and endless, conscious, inherently having all bliss and sentience, the eternal fundamental element called Atma, soul. Just just as one says, I'm a Bengali, I'm a Madrasi, I'm a Punjabi, in the pomp of regionalism, a person forgets that I am an Indian, and the intense feeling of regionalism starts to fragment Indian nationalism. In the same way, when the soul is obscured amongst the clouds of self-identity, such as I am a human, a heavenly being, a man, a woman, a child, a youth, just as today's national leaders call out patriotic friends, do you forget that you are Indians before being Madrasi or and Bengali? Similarly, I say, why do we forget I am a soul amidst the noise of I'm a merchant, I'm a scholar, I'm a child, I'm an elderly person? In order to maintain the integrity, the unity and integrity of India, it is essential that every Indian deeply feels that I am an Indian. This feeling is the sole true solution for Indian unity. Similarly, in order to find the correct answer to who am I, it is crucial to have a strong sense of I am the soul. Indeed, I am a conscious entity, the soul, distinct from man, distinct from woman, son, house, wealth, money, and even this body. Even the emotions of delusion, more, attachment, rag, and aversion, dvesh, that arise in the soul are momentary and impure modifications, and therefore do not belong to the true nature of the soul. Similarly, the limited acquisition of outward focused knowledge, Paryushan, is also incapable of revealing the true nature of the soul, which is inherently perfect embodiment of knowledge. Even the fully developed state of knowledge is merely a modification, parya, and is not eternal. Hence, it cannot be considered as the eternal and infinite perfect knowing soul. The soul is a substance, dravya, whereas the fully developed knowledge is merely a modification, parya, of the soul's attribute of knowledge, gnanun. The real meaning of I is Atma, an eternal, indestructible element existing in all three divisions of time, i.e., past, present, and future. So long as we do not develop the feelings of oneness, the strong belief of I am that, with the sentient, indestructible, everlasting element, i.e., our soul, we cannot get who am I will remain unanswered. The soul that we describe with the word I is a subject of our inner vision and a matter of experience. It cannot be achieved by external activities of any kind. It cannot be bound with mental thoughts because it is a matter of our soul awareness. It cannot be achieved with the help of sensual perceptions because senses only perceive touch, taste, smell, color, and sound, and can only be instrumental in the knowledge of inanimate objects. These senses cannot serve as even as an indirect means, nimit, for knowing the tasteless, formless soul. The self known through experience is a dense mass of consciousness and a source of bliss. It is separate from all external influences such as form, taste, smell, touch, delusion, attachment, and aversion, etc. It is entirely pure and complete in every way. Its purity lies in being completely distinct from all non-self inclinations and being inseparate from knowledge and other supreme attributes. It is one. The indivisibility of its infinite attributes is the cause of its oneness. Such is this soul. It is nothing but the soul itself. That is, I am only myself and nothing else. I am myself alone, and within myself is everything. There is nothing in me to be given to another, and being complete in myself, I have no need for any external support. The soul is beyond verbal play and the entanglement of words. It is accessible only through direct experience, anubhuti. The initial means to attain self-realization is contemplation on the fundamental truths, tattva vichar, but true self-realization arises only when even the conceptual distinctions related to the nature of the soul subside. Who am I? Is a matter of our awareness, and our answer to this question has to be received from our own inner realization. It cannot be expressed in words or writings. In this context, the only utility of speech and writing is that they can merely point toward it. They can indicate the direction, disa, but they cannot produce the transformation, dasa.
Thank you, Binitji. Well read. Anubhavji has now joined as well.
Jain, everyone. Rather very interesting topic we have to discuss today. So let's start with Mangachari. Namo Arhantadam, Namo Siddhadam, Namo Ayariyadam, Namo Uvachayadam, Namo Loe Savasahudam. Mangalam Bhagwan Viro, Mangalam Gautama Gani, Mangalam Kunda Kundatyo, Jain Dharmostu Mangalam, Sarva Mangalya Mangalyam, Sarva Kalyana Karakam, Pradhanam Sarva Dharmanam, Jainam Chetu Shasanam, Jainam Chetu Shasanam, Jainam Chetu Shasanam, Mokshamargasya Netaram, Bhetaram Karma Bhupratam, Gyataram Vishwatattvanam, Vande Tatgunilabdhai, Vande Tatgunilabdhai, Vande Tatgunilabdhai. So after having discussed about the very deciding characteristic of self, which is consciousness, upyog, and having seen how it functions in a very systematic way, Darshanopayog, then we have Mati Gyan, Shrut Gyan, and even under them, they have subparts. Like you have Avagraha, Iha, Avai, Dharana as subparts of Mati Gyan, and then that is translating to Shrut Gyan, and then we have Avadi Gyan, Madhapara Gyan, and Keval Gyan. And then also having understood the importance of belief. So the chapter Upyog was focusing on Gyan, like the conscious being that I am. And the chapter Grahit and Agrahit Mithyatva, yeah, it was focusing on our belief and how belief leads to uh, the corruption in our knowledge as well as in our conduct, in our character, right? So these two chapters were about, they were playing about like in between the Gyan, which fortifies, which actually strengthens your belief, and then that belief translates to your conduct. And therefore, the next chapter which we'll be reading, it will be on conduct, charitra, 12 vratas of householders. So we are systematically going from gyan to forming of belief, and then testing that belief to be right using gyan, and then that is translating into charitra. So it's the same darshan gyan charitra trinity that we are talking about. But there is this small junction which we are stopping at today. After having concluded that, okay, gyan is my identity, upyog is my primary function, it is what my life is about, to know, not just be, but to be aware about my being. So, this watch, it is, but it does not know that it is. I am, and I know that I am. So I have a slight upgradation from its. We both are reality. We both are existing entities. This metal exists as much as I do. There is only slight difference between my existence and its existence. This lifeless object does not know of its existence. And I, conscious being, am aware about my existence. And isn't it a beautiful thing to be? Of what beauty that diamond is, which cannot appreciate its own beauty. The diamond does not know what value it carries, but we all are going mad after it because we are aware. We can calculate what diamond means to me. Yeah, we can see what gold means to us, what dollars means to us, what pounds means to us. We know about, because we know like how to think of beauty, think of value in these objects. The only problem is the beauty assigning authority does not and fails to see any beauty in itself. I am the one who gives value, who assign value to objects because objects don't know about themselves. I am the one who give value to these things, who perceives beauty in these things. I am the one. Yet, how can I not be sure about my own existence, my own being, and my own beauty and value, if at all there is? And that's what this present chapter, which we're reading today, is all about. It's actually going deeper into what our identity is. And the chapter is titled so subtly, so simply. It simply questions, who am I? Who am I? Main kaun hu? As if we're asking ourselves in front of mirror that who am I? Am I this body? Am I this house, this family, this name, this fame? Am I the thoughts that I have? Am I the intellect which I have? Who am I out of all these things? This is a simple question. And before this question, arises, this identity is a very big problem in philosophy. So you must have heard about this analogy, this philosophy of ship of Theseus. Have you heard about it? So there is this case, okay? So I have a ship made up of teak wood. Okay, a ship. It's a proper vintage era ship, which I made using teak wood. It's completely made up of wood. And I am operating with this ship. I am doing my business. It is crossing oceans, reaching countries. And over the time, it requires maintenance. So, some part of its wood gets, overused. And then I have to replace it. So I take off that part of the ship and I replace it with fresh wood. And this keeps on happening over a decade. And after a decade, I find out that the ship does not have any of the bricks, any of the wooden locks, which it was originally made up with. All of its original wood has been replaced. I am asking you, is it the same ship or is it a new ship? The ship which I got commissioned, which was made with those fresh teak wood, all that original material has been replaced with new material over the time in a phased out manner in my, concurrent audit of it, in repair and maintenance of it. And now I have just discovered not even single part of this ship is left of the original ship which I got commissioned. So I'm asking you, is it the same ship which I bought, or is it a new ship?
You would call it refurbished.
Is it refurbished, or is it that tiny? What will I say? This ship is 10 years old, or I'll say that this is 10 days old. What should I say?
Because that ship hasn't gone like a complete, I will say, renovation at the same time. Like the hull might be repaired at one point, some other part might be repaired at another point, and slowly over a period of years. So it is still in that used condition, but now it has been overall completely refurbished.
Is it the new ship or the old ship?
Modified.
Old ship.
It's as good as
I
your
think
house.
depends on
You keep on changing. Your whole furniture changes, yet your house remains the same. It's with body. Remember the cells you were born with. They are not there living in this body. Every day, so many cells, they just pass away and new cells they develop and they make your body. So the problem of philosophy is, so is wood not the ship? Is the ship separate from the wood? But if wood is not ship, then what is ship? And if wood is ship, then the going of that wood would mean that some part of that ship is gone. But I'm saying, no, my ship is fresh and intact. So then now there is this confusion. You are not assigning identity to the wood because wood is getting replaced and getting changed. But the identity of the ship remains the same. So if you go to the Red Fort in Delhi, you'll see they have completely red fort. In Agra, if you go, or in Delhi, wherever you go, you'll find that, it's made up of red stones. Yeah. And that stone is quite weak. It develops, over the usage of time, it just grows. And, you have to just, so what, there is a team which, continuously whose work is to see whether this part of this wall is broken. And if it is broken, then they replace that red stone, which it is made up of. So technically, the Red Fort, when it was originally built with those red stones, does not have those red stones. Yet, how old is that fort? If you ask me when was it built, I'll tell you, going to the Archaeological Survey of India, I'll tell you the year and who got it made. So it is being told that, okay, I am maintaining the same Taj Mahal. I am maintaining the same building, same heritage property. Yet slowly and gradually, I'm changing the colors of the painting. I'm in the it's renovation is going on. Yet it remains same historical place. So the problem of identity is, what is identity? What part of Red Fort is fort? Which is that many years old? And it is very difficult to say. The same problem comes with us. What is Anubhav? What part of is nose Anubhav? Is ears Anubhav? Is this body Anubhav? If it is so, if I take out all my albums and I start seeing my photos from my first birthday, from my third birthday, this looks nothing sort of Anubhav. So which of these two is Anubhav? And if both of these is Anubhav, then either of these is not Anubhav. None of these is not Anubhav. If both of them are Anubhav, then neither that photo is true nor this photo is true. The Anubhav is beyond these pictures and beyond this appearance. And then what is that beyond? Then you explain what Anubhav as a concept is. And this very tricky question is being dealt with in this chapter, and it's actually very profound subject to touch upon in any philosophical thought, to come to a conclusion whether, most of the fights are very superficial, that do I believe in soul, do I believe the body to be the soul, is there life, or we are just, tiny little particles, constituents of this entire universe, which, just are waiting for our, own seasons, and then we'll go, and that's it. That's a little tiny role. So, most fights about identity are centered that, okay, I am soul or I am body. But it is in this very chapter, it is, very deeply thought about and discussed that what part of you is you? What part of you is not you? Like if you have the emotion of anger right now, or if you have emotion of kindness right now, is that kindness you? Is that anger you? We're not talking about whether the eyelids is me or not, the mascara that I have applied on my eyelids is me or not, the scent on my body, is that me or not, the jewelry on my body, is that me or not. We are done with these superficial things. I'm saying, okay, I am this, I know. But when I say I am, what does in that am and I, the I mean? With I, what do I mean? I'm not feeling well. Then who is feeling well? So if you're not feeling well, then why are you feeling at all? It's your feelings or it's not your feelings. And why your own feelings are not suiting you. And if not, then why are you feeling so? You stop, change your feelings. No, I can't change how I feel. Then who can? Who can? So this very beautiful subject is being touched by this thing. You can think about Ship of Theseus. There is a movie also, art movie, with the same name. It also has a Jain monk in that, so it's a proper Bollywood movie, and it has a role. A Jain monk is there, and it contemplates about what happens at the end. That what if I am terminally ill and I have my eyes to offer. There is other person who has his kidneys to offer. There is other person who has his heart to offer. There is this other person who has his lungs to offer. There is other person who is willing to donate his liver. Okay? These are like major functions of this body. And there is one person who needs all of these things. So from one person he's given eyes, from other person he's given heart, from other person he's given this. So now the question is this the same person or is this a new person? The person who is getting different parts from different people remains the same person or he becomes the different person? What do you say? And who the person is?
He is the same person.
But none of the parts are, which made him exist anymore.
So, but
So
those
is
are
body
like,
not the person?
so probably applying the concept of dravya, guna and paryaya, like this modifications. The essence,
Yeah.
the dravya remains as is. So the person is the same person.
What are you calling person in this? If body is not person,
The consciousness, the existence, the jiva tattva.
so the body is not person. Like the wood is not ship.
Right. The body is not. That's a modification.
The wood is not ship. If you think about a ship which does not have wood, can you think about a ship which is without wood? Can you think about a person who is living in mundane existence without a body? There is no one. Yet the body is not the person. Yes. So it is quite complex. So you if you have spare time, you can go and see that movie, Ship of Theseus. Amir Khan, I think, produced it, and it was not a very good commercial hit, but then it went on being one of the most celebrated art movies. So it has this very uh, sensitive topic of Sanlekhna, Santhara, Samadhi Maran, which a person asks. So there is this Shwetambar Sadhu, and who takes Samadhi, and he's gradually, and then this guy who comes to serve him, he says, "Why do you do this? What does it even mean? What is it not hinsa that you're letting your body die?" And then it ends on a very at such a stage in which the question is open to you. You have to find out where it goes. So that's how art movies work. So this subject is very important, and therefore we have to address it layer by layer. So before we read it, I'll just tell you what, in Jain philosophy, the type of things that we are already contemplating. As a Jain, what are all things that we believe which come under the purview of life, of consciousness. So we are saying jiva. Okay, jiva is the conscious being. They are of two types. Okay, first is we are calling mukta jiva. Okay, so they are the liberated souls. We call them siddha. They're siddha jivas. The other are sansari jivas. Sansari jiva. So these are mukta jivas and these are sansari. And then sansari jivas are further divided into two parts. Okay. So mukta is free, liberated. Sansari jivas are caged. They're caged inside the cage of karma. Okay. So they all are caged. So if there is a cage, then there has to be cage, right? So what is the synonym for cage? The synonym in a spiritual term for cage is body. So which you're calling your home is actually not your home, it's a cage. Okay, so this is a cell and we call it cell as well. So jails have cells and the body has cells. You see, so deha or vigraha or this body or sharir, we're calling it body. So the sansari jivas are those who are not free. So if they are not free, where have they been kept, caged? So they have been kept inside a body. So therefore, we are calling them samsari because in this jail system, there are compulsory transfers. So you cannot remain in one cage for a longer amount of time. So you'll have to keep on moving from one cage to another. So we call it this transfer is called sansaran. Sansaran. So transfer in Sanskrit is sansaran. So you leave one cage, you get transferred to another. And it's actually quite troublesome. Just imagine like that every month you have to change your house. This is too much. By the time you get your whole, house, your living room, your dining room, your kitchen furniture, everything sorted. The next day you get the notice, okay, now there is a new house where you have to start from zero and start decorating it again. Now, it's troublesome. Because by the time you know about this life, how this world functions, there is time of departure and you have to leave this body and go to another life. Then figure out some good 10, 20 years, the functions of that life. Bachpan se dekho how you grow up, what are your threats. And then again, by the time you know the rules of the games, you're thrown out of the game. So this is what called sansaran. So from sansaran means this transfer from one body to another. We are giving this whole system a name. That system is called samsar. And who lives in this samsar is called sansari jiva. Okay, mukta jiva is who is liberated from this complex transfer system. Okay, so now the sansari jiva will inevitably have body. Okay, okay. Now there are two types of bodies. So sansari jivas of two types. One is a stationary body, so we call them sthavar jiva, because most of them either are stationary like earth, like a mountain, or they look lifeless. So the notion of life is not that apparent by observation in them. So everybody will start laughing at me if I say that, okay, don't burn fire, it has jīva in it. Everybody will love, what are you saying, fire has jīva? So you are not having the immediate notion or immediate realization that, there is some form of life which is possible in this. So therefore, it is as long as lifeless. So lifeless is what? Which is, just abundant. So sthavar. So water looks lifeless, fire looks lifeless, air looks lifeless, earth looks lifeless. Plants look filled with life, but they are as good as, people do not practice that much caution while dealing with plants, vanaspati. So one type of body is sthavar, the other type of body is tras. Tras, in Gujarati, as you say, the tras. So it's pain. It has to endure, and therefore the flesh of their body is called mans. Yeah. So tras jeev has mans. So when you eat a leaf, you are not non-vegetarian, but you're eating a jīva. But if you eat a small two-sensed earthworm, then you are non-vegetarian, because tras jiva's body has the sangya of mans. It can only be called mans. So by drinking water, you are not becoming a organism eater. Yeah, you're not. But by having madhu, shahad, honey, you become a person who actually is indulged in the hinsa of tras jivas. Yes, everybody. So we have sansari jivas of this type, correct? Now these tras and sthavar jivas. So tras jivas are further of 5 types. Yeah, air, water, fire, earth, and plants. And trust jivas again are of 5 types. 2 indriye, 3 indriye, 4 indriye, asangi panchindriye, and sangi panchindriye. And then sadharan, pratyek, paryapta, aparyapt, all sorts of distinctions would be done. So we are not talking about these mukta jivas because I am in the state of discovery. Who am I? These are the ones who have realized themselves. So right now we're talking, we're keeping in question these sansari jivas, which could be in any of these bodily forms. So if they have these bodily forms, then how does it function? So I have my conscious identity. Yes, everybody. So I know. Yes. And this conscious identity has been covered. It is layered by a material identity. So same identity is now wrapped by a body around it. Yes. So I am not what it looks like. You see that this is Anubhav, but this is not Anubhav. This is what Anubhav is wrapped with. A gift item is not what wrapper is. So if I have a wrapped box, inside that is a gift. The present is not this wrapper. Wrapper is what is keeping this present away from you. So if you want to have that present, you'll have to tear off the wrapper. The gift wrap, you need to unwrap it to have that gift. But we get very happy just seeing the present very beautifully covered with a wrapper. Yes, everybody. But similarly, this is not body. This is not me. This is what I am being wrapped with. So the packing is not the item which is being presented. So this body. So there is this body. Okay. And then this body is the result of certain, like, why do I have this body? So this body is result of all my past actions, which got translated into a memory, and we call it karman sharir. That's karmic memory. This is the connection. This is a body which is the father of this body. Why do I have this body? Because I have one more body, which is the memory of my past actions, and we are calling it karman sharir. Okay, so this is karman sharir. And it is obviously, it has, sort of sense of life. So it is also covered with Tejas Sharif, but we'll be learning about it later. So now I have two people already. I have this body, we'll be calling it no karma. Whatever is the product of karma is called no karma. In English, if I'll write it, no karma. Matlab, it is the notional karma. It is not the karma. Okay, it is notional. It is the work done by karma, not the karma itself. Okay, and no karma is the result of karman sharir, which has dravya karma. Okay, so this karman sharir is the real culprit. It wrapped me with a no karma, which is this body, but its attack is actually at two fronts. It is not just deciding how my exterior would look, it is also giving me wild thoughts of anger, pride, deceit, and I am calling those thoughts as bhav karma. The sansari jiva is samsari because it has a threefold attack. There are three things which are very much present in our, like, the area which we possess, the space which we occupy has these three phenomena. One is the exterior appearance, which is very, tempting that, okay, this is Anubhav, this is me, this is you, that is you. Yeah. So this is this tempting and easy answer, like, too easy to say. Who is Anubhav? This is Anubhav. I'll show you his picture. So that is Anubhav. Fine. So that is no karma. But the tragedy is that this appearance is actually a pretext. It is actually a conspiracy that you may never find Anubhav. So this was installed because so that the Anubhav, the real Anubhav, never realized the real Anubhav. Because if that happens, the whole business of this karma will collapse. So it's kind of a very craftily woven treasure hunt, which we all are supposed to play and we're not playing. Yeah, and this treasure hunt has only one question, that find yourself. Who are you? And then this karma will keep throwing at you the clues. So if you are too, lame, too, you think not much, you are very easy to fool, then it will give you a beautiful body. And it will ask you that, okay, this is your responsibility, look better every day. And your whole life will get invested into keeping it fit, keeping it fine. You have your sunscreens, you have your face masks, you have everything that it requires, have your warmers, have your all sorts of things that can have your salads, count your calories, intake of oil, sugar, whatever, count it. Because this is what body is you, and it is a temple that you have to protect. Fine. So this is the first thing. But sometimes if I'm not looking good, and I believe so that I don't look good, so then I automatically start discounting the body. I pay not much heed to the body. Then I start sharpening my intellect. I'll say, okay, let me sing better. I have beautiful voice. What if I don't have beautiful face? I dance well. I play well. I'm a good player. I'm a great writer. So, when you're disappointed, because we all are hungry for our own identity. So, it's just like in a classroom, if the child is not good in maths and he's very good at language, he will say, oh, I don't like maths, but I am crazy about maths language. So, we are always looking for the things we are good at, and we make it somehow our um, uh, placard of introduction. It becomes our identity cards. Yes, I'm a player. I'm a sportsman. I'm a singer. I'm a nomad. I love to explore the world. I'm a tourist forever. So, you are constantly looking for things that, what will define you. And for this, you can go anybody's social media profile and see what they write about themselves. Yeah. So I'm curious. I am a nature lover. I am, what do we say? Like those who love photo, like watching movies, cinemaphile. I don't know what the words are. So, I'm nature activist. So all these things, because everybody wants some introduction for themselves. So what karma does, karma at first wraps you around this body, and it first it sells you its, highest selling product. This body it's selling tells you, okay, embrace yourself. You're good. It doesn't matter how you look. You're good. Be proud of yourself. Be comfortable in your own skin. So it makes you take comfort in your body. If you're not convinced, then it will try to function your inner world. And that inner world attack is called the bhava karma. It tweaks with your emotions. So your emotions, like whatever you take refuge in, whatever you like, whatever you dislike. And those bhav karmas are actually primarily the function of ghatiya karma. So if we have two types of karma, so here the attack on your exterior is done by aghatiya karma. The no karma is the result of aghatiya karma, and the bhav karma is the result of ghatiya karma. And then you try to find out your identity in your ghatiya karma, that okay, we have to be kind. We as Jains should be very humble and non-violent people. We should help. We should offer food to people. We have to take care of these things. So you know what you're doing? You're feeding your own thoughts. The thoughts which you did not choose. Your ghatiya karma designed for you so that you can again fall and choose a wrong identity. So three layers. Dravya karma, which is making your no karma and making your bhav karma. And all these three things are the function of karma. And 99.9999999% of the world is taking their proud identity in either of these three. Some people are proud of their appearance, their body, their legacy, their whole accumulation which they have. Others are proud of their actions, which are karmas. Like, I did this, I did that, I did so well. And others are proud of their thoughts, their emotions, that we are too kind people, we are too giving. So all these people, so people take refuge in these three things. So those who are going to Himalayas, going to Rishikesh, doing yoga, finding meditation, peace, they are taking refuge in bhav karma. Those who are doing partying, like you get theek hai, or to the gym, they are going and calculating the calories they take. They are feeding their no karma. And those who are hardworking, I'm going to build, I'm going to do something. The generations will remember me what I did, and they're doing all sorts of good work or charities or activism. They are taking refuge in karma. So the karma is their identity. All these three things are false identities. Why? Because if you get stuck with either of these three, you'll realize your body is not going to remain the same. Your situations will not remain the same. Actions will soon make you outdated. You'll have to retire after, no matter how good you are. You'll have to at some day retire. And your thoughts, even you know that your thoughts are very different from morning till the night you go to the bed. So how long can you sustain your hobby? It will tell you this answer, that how much you control your thoughts. So this thing is, I will define myself with a phenomena which stays, which I can rely on, because identity should be such, which, we all are asked to, in any of the forms which we fill in our colleges, in our workplaces, in any of the places, in our passports. Two things they ask. First is permanent address. Second is current address. Yeah. Permanent address is about where we will find you anyways. Like if you're not you, there would be somebody to tell where you are. And current is okay, TK, for the timing for this year, where do I have to do all this correspondence? Correct? Similarly, this question of who am I is being asked from two perspectives. Where I am presently is known to everybody. So I am this body, Anubhav. I have these types of thoughts, and this is my occupation. So Dravya Karma, Bhav Karma, No Karma, deciding my current address. But I am more curious about that address which is permanent, that does not change. Regardless of my thoughts, regardless of my appearance, regardless of what I do as occupation, I remain that very same occupant of that very introduction. That is the question which is being tackled with this chapter. Yes? So whenever you'll be talking about, later on, like what is Samay, what is Atma? So this is what the diagram will be shown to you. There is this Atma. It has this karma, and then it has this one more body. So you have this no karma, this dravya karma, and Atma has these corrupted thoughts called bhav karma. Out of these three things, I am not none of these things, because these all are transient things. They do not become my introduction. So Shuddhatma, who is called Shuddhatma? So द्रव्य भाव और नो कर्म से रहित वस्तु को शुद्धात्मा कहते हैं, which is me. Okay, they all occupy the same space, by the way. Okay, it's just to better represent it. So this is the external most part is no karma, which is the function of karma. Then second part is dravya karma, which is the reason of no karma. And the third part is bhav karma. And all these three being karma, I am none of these three. These are not my introduction. So I am not my thoughts. I'm not my actions. I'm not my ecosystem. I'm not my accumulations. I am away from these things. So then what are you? What are you? I am the knower of my situation, the knower of my actions, and the knower of my thoughts. I am that conscious identity that never gets corrupted. So then question arises, is it possible? How, while you are in the state of anger, you're not corrupt? How can you say that? Understood the question? See, first of all, you got these three layers, everybody. The innermost layer is our own thoughts and actions, because they are not originating within ourselves out of no. They are originating because of the presence of karma. And we paying heed to those karma. Yeah. So I'm not getting angry for no reason. It has a reason. External reason and internal reason. Internal reason karma, external reason situation, no karma. And then I am participating there with my bhav karma. Okay, everybody. It happens, na? Let's say you told your child, okay, get me a cup of a glass of water. So he brought it in a glass of water. It's a glass. And while he was bringing it closer to you, and he said that, okay, take this, the glass slipped off his hand and it got broken. Okay. Now you tell me, will you get angry or not? So there is no right answer, yes or no. Depends on my mood that day. Ek to first time he was bringing water for me. It's anyways like it's good that he did so. Yeah, it was my mistake that I called him to get it. I should have taken it. So, you may react to the same situation in many ways. But external situation is same. He broke the glass. But your bhav karma is different regardless of the no karma outside. So it's actually happening because of not just external reason. The anger, the bhav karma in you is originating not because of your condition, but because there is internal motivation of dravya karma, which is ghatya karma's fruition. The charitra moha karma says that you do not have a tivra kashaya as of now. So you know, say, koi baat nahi, forgive your child. You say, it was you reflect that, oh, it was my mistake. I was stupid to ask this little boy to get me a glass of water. Yeah. But if your internal kashaya is at very high temperature, even if he does not break the glass, it just slips off his hand and there is a rug on the floor and the glass did not break. Nothing has happened. Little bit of water has been spilled. Even then he'll get bashing. Not because he did something bad, because your internal karma, the bhav karma, the karma, dravya karma of ghatya karma was tivra uday, in tivra uday. So your bhav karma, it just ignited. It got just, it blasted. Yes, everybody. So every situation, your reaction to that is the confluence of these two situations. The no karma decide the external ecosystem, like what situation you are trapped in. The dravya karma fruition is the real antaranga karan. So there are two types of nimitta karan: antaranga karan and bahiranga karan. Nimitta is the instrumental cause. So I will not laugh at the joke that you have just cracked just based on the joke you have told me. It is two participants. So first, the joke should be good. Yeah, so that is compulsory. You need to crack a good joke. But will it buy you my laughter? Sorry, I'll have to take clearance from that internal instrumental cause. So bahiranga karan is your joke. Antarang instrumental cause is my hasya charitra moha karma's fruition. What if I have right now shok charitra moho? So you cracked a joke about death and it reminded me of the death of my near ones and I started crying. How can you be so insensitive? Why are you making joke on somebody's death? You don't know, nobody has died in your family. That's why you're behaving like this. You cannot be this childish all the time. Everything is not to make fun. See, you'll start like this because your mood is not good. The joke was good. Everybody was laughing. You only took the offense. Not because of the joke, because of antaranga nimitta karan, which is the primary nimitta karan of that anger, of that laughter, of that shok. So whatever is happening has two checks. External happenings are called no karma, the fruition of karma in external ghatya karma. Internal fruition of karma is antaranga karan. And then if observing these two, your consciousness is so idle, so jobless that it does not have something good to process on or chew on, it will go with either of the situations. तो जिसके उपयोग के पास, the one who has not trained his consciousness to be alert, gets swayed away by the two dances of dravya karma. The first dance is the external dance, no karma, The second dance of Dravya Karma is internal, Bhav Karma. And my consciousness, it just goes with the flow because it does not have something on its own to do. Yeah. And when I react, then I'll have to take the accountability. So then I say, oh, yes, I said it. And I'm very proud of it. I'm not going to say sorry for what I did. You're taking accountability for the work done by the karma. Okay, I take full responsibility of my actions, but those were not your actions. Those were not your actions. Those were the actions. You are the puppet of the karmas that you have done in the previous life and which remained with you in karma and sharir. Okay. So the first thing to know is that these three layers, they are what most of our lifetimes we invest contemplating about, either our external situations or our actions and our internal thoughts. But there is beyond these three people a conscious, pure identity which is free from the impression of all these three types of bodies. And that is me. It is being said. But then our question is it really possible that in all the mess, despite all this mess, I can still remain pure? I can still be called Shuddhatma. How? So the simple analogy, okay? I have this white kurta that I'm wearing, right? Okay. And it is actually fresh. I just wore it this morning. Yeah. But then while I was out, it rained and it was raining. I was passing uh, by and I took shelter in a tree. And from that tree, a few of the drops of the rain fell on this kurta, and there was dust on the leaves of that tree, which also came along. And now this kurta is a bit muddy, dusty, not clean anymore, not fresh anymore. I want to ask you guys, is this kurta shuddha or ashuddha? Is it clean or unclean? Which has mud on it? The kurta which has mud on it is clean. The kurta, I'm talking about kurta. The kurta is clean or not clean?
Not clean.
Not clean. Obviously, I'll have to get it washed. Yes. Any other answer? Siddhiji says clean. How? It was clean, not anymore.
The reason I said clean was because eventually the fiber of the kurta is not dirty, and after washing we will again it will be white and clean.
So after washing, will it be clean or is it clean right now? I'm asking you this.
According to Jainism philosophy, it is clean.
According to you, don't no, you just tell me and convince us. According to you, after that washing machine wash, this kurta becomes clean or it has been clean throughout? According to you, what
It
like looks to you?
it is clean throughout because the dirt is different and the fiber of the fabric is different. They will never become in unity with each other,
Okay,
and it is only a
but then
temporary dirt that is there on the kurta.
but there is temporary dirt on kurta now. So the for
Hmm.
temporary time the kurta got uncleaned. No, it got dirty. For that, let's say 2 hours I took to clean it again and taking out from the dryer, and it's now again wearable. But then for those 2 hours, it has been uncleaned. It has been a bit dirty. No.
Yes.
I think what I
Yes.
have to know is that it's unclean now, so I have to wash it.
Yeah.
That's my work, to accept that it's unclean and I have to wash it to
So,
get it
so, so,
clean.
so you're saying it being uncleaned, it being dirty motivated you to clean it.
Yeah.
Sure. Are you sure? Is that your motivator? Only when I knew that it is dirty, I got myself prepared to clean it, right? This is what it looks like, yeah? Everybody, Yes, yes. I'll give you one more case. Okay, so I have, we all agreed that on this Sunday we all are going, and we are going to have short picnic. Okay, so and everybody is going to get something from their house cooked at home for eating. Yeah, so we all brought like okay. So I, along with myself, brought some food preparations, and you guys also brought it. And then the time came for serving. So we all took out. So, some of you brought disposable plates, and I brought steel plate. Okay. And the food was served to everybody. Okay. At the end of it, you know, we all sat together. Okay. We had good time. Now let's not, leave behind this place dirty. We'll make it better than we found it. And we collected all those disposables. We collected all the plates also. Yeah. And we put them and we brought everything together to our home. You tell me, which of the plates should I throw away and which of the plates should I keep? It's not a difficult question.
You retain the steel plates, throw away the disposable ones.
Why can I not wash the disposable plates?
Because they are not meant to be retained, they are disposable for a reason that they are going to
For which reason?
not last, they are going to under the water, they are going to, basically they're going to
But
get
they
wet
are quite intact. We have them. Like, if you allow, I can wash them. Good quality disposable plates we brought. Yeah. Why should I not? Like, if you say that they cannot be cleaned, I am going to show you they can be cleaned. Why would you not clean them? See,
because
you said washing the cloth. The motivation came from the dirt. The clothes were dirty, and that's why you got prepared to wash them. I'm saying these disposable plates also got dirty. Why is the motivation to wash them not coming? The steel plate got dirty. I have the motivation to wash it. The disposable plate, nobody, I'm not washing it, I'm putting it in my dustbin and nobody is questioning. If I put the steel plate in dustbin, you will all stop me. You'll say, what are you doing? Yes. Why?
Because probably in our
nature.
mind, the disposables are meant to be thrown like that, and the steel plates are meant
Meant to be
eaten.
thrown when? So why did you
When they are
eat on it? Why did you eat on them if they were meant to be thrown?
I mean, the purpose of the disposables is to be used and thrown.
Once used, in our belief, they cannot be cleaned. They cannot be, so they get dirty. They get dirty. That is what thought is communicated. While I eat on my silver or steel plate, the communication inside my head is it is not dirty. It is not dirty. It can be cleaned. So the motivation for cleaning is not the dirt. The motivation is that it does not get dirty despite eating on it. The motivation to wash this cloth is not dirt. The motivation is that it is not dirty. It is clean. Just give some water to it. You will see the kurta is same. Motivation is always the Shuddha Swabhav. Motivation is always the purity, not the impurity. Despite impurity, this thing is retainable. Retain it, clean it. Your thing has not suffered even a bit because of the food. Your plate is same. This is what is being told to us in this chapter. Despite all the krodh, the Atma, not after the krodh is gone, is pure. It is like that silver plate, that steel plate. You had the dirt of food, which was there. It is like that white cloth, which has the kichad of all the rag and dvesh. But Atma is not Shuddha without it. It is Shuddha despite it. Because they do not leave a trace. You wash it and you will not know whether you had dal bati on this or dosa and masala on this. The plate will tell you that what you had in your dinner, in your lunch, in your breakfast, it will never. It is as if that nothing happened on it. The cloth will not tell you whether it was the dirt of a mud of some color of something else. After getting cleaned, you cannot say that kya kya is kurte mein gandagi aayi thi. No trace of that impurity is there. Yes, everyone. So, Poonamji, I would say it again. The motivation to wash the kurta is not the dirt, but the fact that despite dirt, the kurta is clean. It is the cleanliness and the moment. What if this kurta falls off in a gutter? I put this kurta to, get dried after washing it, and a wind came and it took it to a gutter. Will I now go and pick it up and then wash it and use it? It goes to a place which I do not, I completely say that, okay, no, it cannot be touched. This is what happens, in gully crickets while we were small. India has like this great tradition of gully crickets, and we have very peculiar rules in gully cricket. And, so like in India, you also have, very small nalis and all, where the bad water from households, it flows openly. It is not uncovered. And there would always be a ball which will go one of the nalis. And the child will use small sticks, some polythene or something to pick it up. And then they will not touch it because I will get dirty after touching it. But ball is necessary to play the game. So we would find out a way that, okay, how to see the ball as not getting corrupted because of this nali water. Yeah. So you are very clear of your objective. If you plan to see beauty in certain thing, despite in its pathetic state, you then get somehow the courage to use it. But the moment you name it and oh, it is gone, now I cannot touch it, then it is gone. Then you will not take that effort to use it or to correct it. So this Shuddhatma, this identity, if I say I'm Anubhav, then it is a very narrow identity, very narrow introduction, which I'm choosing for myself. But when I say that I am the conscious being, I'm Chaitanya, I'm Shuddhatma, I'm pure consciousness, which you do not have to say. I do not have to say that I'm Anubhav all the time, at least to me, no. Yeah. When you have that realization that I'm not the doer, I'm not these emotions which are flowing through me. I'm not the different forms that this body is taking. I'm not my hair. I'm not my cough. I'm not my tears. I'm not my sweat. This is what is made by karma. And I do not have to take pride or some sort of shame in accepting this. But what am I? I am the conscious knower of all these. The knower remains. Thoughts come and go. Bodies come and go. Karmas come and go. But those who remain knower, the more you know of yourself and your state of being conscious knower, the lesser the traffic of thoughts, lesser the influx of karma, lesser the chances of you getting transferred from one body to another. So the transition from the samsari jiva to the liberated siddha jiva, mukta jiva, it does not come after you declutter your dravya karma, your no karma, your bhav karma. No, they were anyways not your responsibility. It's when you take charge of your consciousness and then you say that, okay, instead of participating in these events of these three people, I would rather just be conscious of them, just be aware of them. And when you can see that traffic coming and going, that's when you realize that your identity is actually the only identity of this world which is capable of giving you bliss. And therefore, we read it and we say it. मैं ज्ञानानंद स्वभावी हूँ. Gyan is the consciousness. Anand is the bliss it brings when you just sit down and see. You become the observer. You become the prekshak. You become the seer, not become the part of the scenery. So, मैं ज्ञानानंद स्वभावी हूँ. मैं हूँ अपने में स्वयं पूर्ण. I'm complete in myself. This kurta is complete, whether it's, okay, let me tell you this. This is the example given by Acharya Amrit Chandra Deva in the Tika, the commentary of Samay in the 14th and 15th Katha. So what Acharya Dev says that, okay, there is in the pond near to my house, we get water from there, and because of the rains, the water is very muddy. Okay. So should I have this water from the pond or not? Is water muddy or the mud is muddy? What is it that is muddy? You filter the water or you filter the impurities from the water. Water is water. The only thing is that water and mud, they are sharing the same space. So it looks like that water is impure. Water is not impure. And impurities are impure. It's their name. So the water is actually pure in its own muddy state. If you do not believe me, try taking the mud out. You don't have to do anything in water. When we filter the water, what do we do in water? What do you do in water? You do nothing to make water pure. Water is pure. You just take the impurities out. Similarly, in soul, you do not have to, awaken your purities. The pure, the Shuddhatman exists. The soul is, I am. The only thing is, there is too much noise along my sides. The noise of dravya karma, which is translating into bhav karma internally and no karma externally. So in these noises, I am lost and I'm thinking that, the world is messy. There are so many problems. Nothing can happen good to me. And then we forget the constant serene echo of consciousness, which is underflowing at the same times, which is untouched by the different, by all the dirt of this entire world and its pollution. Yeah, so this is what this chapter is aimed at. If you read मैं ज्ञानानंद स्वभावी हूँ, it is nothing but the poetic translation of this chapter. मैं हूँ अपने में स्वयं पूर्ण, पर की मुझ में कुछ गंध नहीं, मैं अरस अरूपी अस्पर्शी. I am body, forget it. My album alone is sufficient to explain that I am not this body. Which version of the body is me? This is forever changing. मैं अरस अरूपी अस्पर्शी, पर से कुछ भी संबंध नहीं. मैं रंग is no karma, राग is भाव कर्म. मैं रंग राग से and भिन्न भेद से I am me. What type of sentence is that? I am me. मैं हूं. मतलब क्या है? क्यों बोलना है? भिन्न भेद से. Do not ruin it by saying it. You are, that's it. Close it. You don't need words to describe yourself. You only have to feel it. So मैं रंग से, राग से, भिन्न भेद से भी में भिन्न निराला हूं. मैं हूं अपने में स्वयं पूर्ण, निज पद में रमने वाला हूं. I'm mixing the lines, but the whole gist of it, all that we are saying is, what am I? I am myself. Even if I say that, it's a false introduction. I am what I am. It cannot be worded, and it is not what it looks like. So all this introduction, all these things that tell me of being anubhav, of being human, of being samsari, of being tras, of being sangi panchendriye, of being kalikal, of being karma bhumi jiva, of being this much of Jnanavani, this much of Leshya, this type of Sansthan, this type of Sahanan, all these introductions are false. They do not define me. Yeah, they are right. I'll choose to wash only the cloth which has dirt on it. So the dirt is signaling me to clean it. But I'm cleaning it not because of dirt, but because of it is not dirty, to prove it. Similarly, this body is signaling that I am in samsara state. But this dirt will be washed in saṃyama and tapa because I am shuddha, not because it is too dirty. Yeah? Yes,
Just
Poonamji, you're saying
explain,
something.
that just that one line, रंग राग से भिन्न, that's fine. भेद से भी मैं भिन्न निराला हूँ. Can you explain that again? I've never understood it clearly.
Yeah. I am myself. What does it mean? So, see, I am Gyan or I have Gyan. Which one is true? Which of it is true? Do I have Gyan or is I am Gyan? मैं ज्ञान हूं या मेरे पास I am this pen or I have this pen?
I have.
I have it. So when I said have it, means the pen is different and I am different and I have it. So this creates division. We call it bhed.
Okay.
Bhed. So when I said I have gyan, so I made gyan a separate party and I am different. I have pen, I have gyan. So I have actually, which is my defining factor, my defining characteristic. I am calling it's a different party. मैं ज्ञान हूं कि मेरे में ज्ञान है. So even to say that I have gyan is wrong introduction.
Okay.
So I'm shutting down. I'm not going to even define what I am. Because to know what you are is nothing a subject, it's not a subject of commentary. It's not a subject of elocution competition. It's a subject of realization. I know that's it. And that, like, you know what kurta is, you know, like what that plate is. You know, it's though it's dirty, it's not. Yes, everybody. Correct, everybody. If your child is crying, will you take it to a what do we like? What do we call those? Uh, like, you know, if my phone is not functioning well, where will I take it to? Kaun sa center?
Repair shop.
Sorry,
App.
repair shop, right?
Yeah,
Service center. Yeah.
service
So
center.
if a child is crying, you know, so like, you know, I came to your house and he's crying and he's crying and he's crying. Well, take him to some good service center. He's not functioning well. But he'll say, no, he does not. Like, you know your child and you do not define it by its present behavior. There must be something. There must be something. There must be something wrong. So you try to find out. You do not label that child. Similarly, you cannot label yourself based on the emotions you are having in this particular phase of life. So these are bhav karma. They do not become the introduction of karma. So this is what this whole chapter was saying. And it's amazingly how it has been written by Dada. And it also, you know, includes some flavor of the political narration and political dialogues which were going on, you know, in that time, like, you know, when we were recently gotten our independence, and, you know, I am Maharashtrian or Gujarati or I'm Indian first. Yeah, so you know, like, you know, when you say I, so what is it? Like, is there more of Gujarati in me or more of India in me? So all these things, so the identity becomes a very, very, very important concept in our lives, and we take pride in our identity. But then Acharya Dev only wants us to see that whether what we're taking pride in is our identity or not. These are the identity of karma. Dravya karma, bhav karma, and no karma. Most of the things which we feel we are proud of. So we are rather completely conscious being, which will later on become the Trishtika Vishay. So you guys, I would want that you read this chapter again based on the backdrop we have discussed, because it's a simple essay, but you read it one more time, it will all beautifully fit in. That what Atma is and how all the externalities and internal emotions, they have been, they have been, they are there present. Yes, we're acknowledging that the plate is dirty, but dirty plate is not its identity. It could be clean because it is clean. Similarly, though I have all sorts of emotions and thoughts, but they do not become my identity. Fine? Simple? So when we realize that who am I, then our next question is, what are the qualities which I have? And those qualities are very beautifully dealt with in the chapter 9th of this bhag. So just to have flavor of how do I look. So next time, if you want to give somebody a good introduction of yourself, this chapter is a complete go-go for us. That why the real qualities of the self define my introduction. And this is the chapter number 9. Let's have a quick read of this
Anubhavji,
chapter.
sorry.
Yes.
Oh, did you want to do Gandharvachans, both of them at the end, or shall we do chapter
Yeah,
5
yeah, yeah.
Gandharvachans?
That would be a good idea. So let's like it would be like a break. Let's do Gardar Vachan for today's Gardar Vachan, and then we'll do the lesson number 9.
Okay, thank you. So we have, who is doing chapter 5?
Siddhi.
Siddhi, yeah, thank you.
Jai Jinendra. Sir, I have done it very differently. So, yeah.
Yeah,
To
it's
be
okay. It's okay.
honest,
Just yeah.
to be honest, there is nothing to mug up in this particular chapter. It is purely for contemplation. Let me start with a story. There was a Seth, and he had brought a brand new diamond ring. So to put it safely, he goes to his bedroom locker, and just at that moment, the doorbell rings, his phone rings, and his mother calls out to him. So out of hastiness, he slips that ring on his finger and goes to finish off his work. Once he returns back, he sees the locker to be empty and he is surprised. He panics. He searches the entire house, his car, and also the jewelry shop, but he does not find the ring. And do you think he will ever find that ring? The answer is no, because he's searching in the wrong places. Same with this question, who am I? Where are you searching the answer? Maybe in the Pravachan, Shastra, in the Sansar? Just as we discussed in the lesson, we are not a child because the childhood will end. And I cannot be rich forever because as the bank balance reduces, will my existence like stop completely? One can argue that, listen, I am Siddhi because I was named even in child, adulthood, and even in old age, I will be called Siddhi. So I am Siddhi. But then, my dear, your name was given after a few months of your birth. And you were birthed, the entire 9 months of gestation, pregnancy period, you were not named after all. Someone would say that I am a Manushya, but then again, Manushya Gati is due to Nam Karma and it is not Shashvat. And as Sir said, the body itself is a cage. We are never free, and the cage also keeps changing, which we called as Sansar. Again, there is one more example. There were 10 friends and they were crossing the river. So after they crossed the river bank, they wanted to do a head count. And each time they would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. And then again another friend counts 1 to 9. They every time they kept forgetting themselves. In the same way, a mithya drishti jeev is suffering because he is confused. He has his faith in the incorrect thoughts of the self. He thinks he is fit, he is kind, and as we discussed the business of karma today, that the no karm is the outside looks, then there is dravya karm, and that is the karman sharir, and then there is the feelings, that is bhav karm. And if we do not have good looks, we kind of uh, give ourselves a different sort of introduction, that I am very kind, I am a traveler, XYZ, just to get external validation. And the entire concept for me, particularly, the best takeaway was I was struggling with self love concept for the past few years, and this has definitely changed my thought about self love. Just imagine this. If you're walking on the road and there is a construction site nearby, you are hit by a brick and you wake up next day in a hospital and your memory is lost. What sort of a feeling are you going to have? You will be frightened, you will be agitated, stressed, anxious, that akulta vyakulta, the tadap, the curiosity. Okay, you will be very, very much wanting, motivated to know who you are. If today I'm sitting in this comfort of my house with a healthy body and the liking, mentally I have got liking towards Jainism philosophy, and I have luckily got the teachers and the shastras available. If now I cannot like find my who am I question right, then I think I will seriously lose on to something very, very big in this manushya bhav. Sorry. The best line of this chapter I thought is, the seeker has forgotten the seeker itself. Okay, we are so busy in par ki khoj. Okay, sometimes we are looking for a new friend online, then we are maybe searching for an old school friend, or maybe we are searching in the mall, we are Google searching, perhaps we are searching something in the shastras itself. And people say, that I want to be remembered even after I die. Okay, that this is an absurd thought, because this person has not even understood the concept of life and death. They have merely related it to the body only. Todalmal ji said that just like an alcoholic person, he does not have the stability of words. He will call his mother as Patni and he will refer his wife as Mataji. If we are sending a child uh, for the first time to buy oranges, then we will also tell him that what is the difference between oranges and mosambis. Okay, so just that way, our Guruji's Bharalji has also given us the correct understanding what we are not. So let us discuss what we are not. We are not Manvachan Kai, as it is due to Nam Karma. We are not Moharag Dvesh, as they are Shanik. We are I'm not the body or any of the situations or relationships that are, with respect to the body, that is family, bungalow, my business, xyz, because these are incapable of describing me. We are not par lakshi buddhi. We are not achieved by any sensory perceptions, as our senses are only meant capable of understanding jad padarth only. I cannot be captured in a photo. I cannot be summarized in these words. I am not bhav dravya or no karm body. So who am I? I am Trikali, that is everlasting, Shuddh, that is pure, Anadi Anant, eternal, Chaitanya, conscious, and Gyan Anandi Swabhavi, Dhruv Tattva, that is never changing. I have Anant Gun, and all these gun are in unity within me. Atma is only Atma and nothing else. It cannot be corrupted. Atma is Shuddh, not due to the lack of Moharag Dvesh. Atma is Shuddh despite it. As Sir said, despite it, the fabric is clean. I am self-sufficient, that is Paripurna. And if I may, this is only out of and you can only identify Atma with Anubhav Gochar. It is only Matra Anubhav Gochar. It is okay. And the primary step for the Atma Anubhuti is Tattva Vichar. Kar Vichar Topam. And in the chapter it says, if you sit even for once, like from the bottom of your heart, if you sit and go within, you will definitely experience the Atma. And one time, if you understand fully your true self, my true self, then these karms will take little to no time and they will just shed off. You don't even have to worry about them. So let me end this by Srimad Rajchandra's lines. मैं कौन हूँ, आया कहाँ से, और मेरा रूप क्या, संबंध दुखमय कौन है, स्वीकृत करूँ परिहार क्या, इसका विचार विवेक पूर्वक शांत होके कीजिए, तो सर्व आत्मिक ज्ञान के सिद्धांत का रस पीजिए, सिद्धांत का रस पीजिए. जय जिनेन्द्र.
Beautiful, very beautifully done. Touches on all aspects of this chapter, and all the stories and annotations were really beautiful. The last two paragraphs of this chapter are actually, when you said that your favorite part of your chapter, so I would also want to highlight the favorite part of this chapter for me. The soul is beyond verbal play and the entanglement of words. It is accessible only through direct experience, anubhuti. The initial means to attain self-realization is contemplating on the fundamental truths, tattva vichar. But true self-realization arises only when even the conceptual distinctions related to the nature of the soul subside. What you asked as bhed. Who am I? Is a matter of our awareness. And our answer to this question has to be received from our own inner realization. It cannot be expressed in words or writings. In this context, the only utility of speech and writing is that they can merely point toward it. They can indicate the disha, direction, but they cannot produce the transformation. So beautifully done. Thank you. And now we'll be going to progress to the chapter number 2, chapter number 9. where we'll know that, okay, if my introduction is this, then I should know, like, about at least 10 things that I can speak on myself. The same old question, okay, give me your introduction in 5 lines or 10 lines. So, we were also asked, like, okay, give your introduction. So this chapter number 9 it is. Who would read it? If I would need volunteers to read this chapter. It's a beautiful reading. Anybody can come forward, and
I can do one.
we have two
Anubhav.
people, Jinesh and Vinod. Yes.
Yeah, I can do one as well.
Okay. So we have one. So we both will have two male people this time. Jinesh is one, Vinod is one. Okay,
Shall I
Jinesh
be
is fine.
Jinesh?
Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
start.
All right. Brother Vinod, will you come with me to the temple?
No, brother, I intend to go to the cinema today
Why?
because my soul is not at peace today. Some entertainment will help.
Really, brother? You're searching for peace in the cinema? The cinema only enhances attachment and aversion, rag dvesh, aggravating restlessness. The great Daśalakṣaṇa festival has also begun. These days are meant for religious devotional practices. During these days, everyone engages in self-reflection, ākiñcanya, worship, vows, fasting, and other observances. They spend the entire day in spiritual study, discussion on fundamental truths, and similar activities. Although the purpose of every religious festival is ultimately to increase the feeling of dispassion, vitrag bhav, within the soul. But this particular festival is especially associated with the worship of one's inner virtues, Atmagun. Therefore, it is a festival of dispassion, self-restraint, and spiritual practice. Festival means an auspicious time, a sacred occasion. In truth, the real festival is the manifesting of the dispassionate Vitragi state through the right perception of one's own true nature. For that alone is truly auspicious for the soul and the genuinely sacred occasion. Since it is associated with 10 supreme virtues like supreme forbearance, Uttam kṣamā, etc., it is called the great festival of 10 supreme virtues, Daśalakṣaṇa Mahaparva.
What is the festival of 10 supreme virtues, Daśalakṣaṇa Dharma?
To venerate the 10 forms of right conduct with perfect understanding of the pure nature of the soul, Atma Swabhav, is the religion of 10 supreme virtues, Daśalakṣaṇa Dharma. As Acharya Uma Swami has stated in the Tattvat Sutra, Uttam kṣamā, mārdava, ārjava, śauca, satya, saṃyama, tapa, tyāga, ākiñcanya, brahmacarya, and Dharma. That is, Uttam kṣamā, supreme forbearance, Uttam mārdava, supreme humility, Uttam ārjava, supreme straightforwardness, Uttam sauch, supreme contentment, Uttam satya, supreme truthfulness, Uttam saṃyama, supreme self-restraint, Uttam tap, supreme austerity, Uttam tyāga, supreme renunciation, Uttam ākiñcanya, supreme non-attachment, and Uttam brahmacarya, supreme celibacy. These are the 10 virtues.
Can you explain these 10 supreme virtues, Daśalakṣaṇa Dharma, more clearly?
Why not? Listen. In the absence of the three intense passions that are infinite binding, obstructing renunciation, hindering partial renunciation, anantanubandhi apratyakhyan varna, pratyakhyan varna. The pure manifestation of special conduct that arises in enlightened monks is called the real Nishchay, supreme 10 virtues of forbearance, humility, etc. and the naturally occurring auspicious dispositions such as forgiveness, kṣamā, in such monks at that spiritual level is called supreme 10 virtues from conventional viewpoint, vyavahar, which are in the form of merit, punya. The word supreme, uttam, is used in the sense of being grounded in right faith from the real viewpoint, nishchay samyak darshan. In reality, supreme forgiveness is the purity achieved by renunciation of the three types of anger, anantanubandhi, etc., by taking refuge in the soul, which is inherently forgiving across all three times, past, present, future. When with real forbearance, despite experiencing many adverse situations such as insult or physical harm, inauspicious dispositions in the form of anger does not arise, but instead the auspicious dispositions in the form of forgiveness happen. Such forgiveness is called conventional supreme virtue of forgiveness. In the same way, in reality, the supreme virtue of humility, Uttam Mārdava Dharma, is the purity achieved in form of renunciation of the three types of pride, such as infinite binding type, etc., anantanubandhi, through the refuge of the soul, whose nature is inherently humble across all three times. When, along with this real humility, despite encountering various triggers of pride, such as caste and other distinctions, the inauspicious dispositions of eight types of pride do not occur. But instead, an auspicious ego free disposition occurs. That is called conventional supreme virtue of humility.
And supreme straightforwardness, ārjava.
In the same way, in reality, the supreme virtue of straightforwardness, Uttam ārjava Dharma, is the purity achieved in the form of renunciation of the three types of deceitfulness, such as infinite binding type, etc., anantanubandhi, through the refuge of the soul, whose nature is inherently straightforward across all three times. When along with this real straightforwardness, inauspicious dispositions of deceit do not occur, but instead an auspicious straightforward disposition occurs. That is called conventional supreme virtue of straightforwardness. In the same way, in reality, the supreme virtue of contentment, Uttam Sauch Dharma, is the purity achieved in the form of renunciation of the three types of greed, such as infinite binding type, etc., Anantanubandhi, through the refuge of the soul, whose nature is inherently of contentment across all three times. When along with this real contentment, inauspicious dispositions of greed do not occur, but instead an auspicious contented disposition occurs. That is called conventional supreme virtue of contentment.
And speaking the truth is itself true virtue, satya dharma, isn't it?
Oh, brother, speech is merely a modification, paryay of matter, pudgal. How can there be righteousness in it? The pure manifestation that arises in the soul, which by nature is endowed with knowledge across all three times and which is free from the three passions, that alone is real supreme true virtue. Nishchay Uttam Satya Dharma. And conventionally, Vyavahar, that auspicious disposition of speaking truthful words, which is accompanied by the real true virtue, is the supreme truthful virtue. In the same way, in reality, the pure for modification, Shuddha Parinati, arising through the refuge of the soul, whose nature is restrained, saṃyama, across all three times, characterized by the absence of the three passions, is the highest form of the religion of restraint, Uttam Sanyam Dharma. And along with this real restraint, the complete renunciation of violence, etc., and control over the senses in accordance with the stages of ascetic conduct is conventional supreme virtue of restraint.
Brother, you explained very well. If you have time, could you elaborate a little?
Right now, there is little time. It's the time for the sermon. Every evening, there are sermons on these 10 dharmas. So you can listen to the details there. Right now, I also need to briefly explain the remaining topics like austerity and renunciation, tap and tyāga. In the same way, in reality, the supreme virtue of austerity, Uttam Tap Dharma, is the purity achieved in the form of renunciation of the three types of passions through the refuge of the soul, whose nature is inherently of knowledge across all three times. When, along with this real austerity, the auspicious dispositions of observance of fast, etc., is conventional supreme virtue of austerity. In the same way, in reality, the supreme virtue of non attachment, Uttam ākiñcanya Dharma, is the purity achieved in the form of renunciation of the three types of passions through the refuge of the soul, whose nature is inherently of knowledge across all three times. When, along with this real non attachment, the auspicious dispositions of renouncing possessions is the conventional supreme virtue of non attachment. In reality, the supreme virtue of celibacy, Uttam brahmacarya Dharma, is the purity achieved by indulging in, delighting in, or becoming absorbed in the soul whose nature is inherently blissful, who is the supreme self, Param Brahma, across all three times. When, along with this real celibacy, the auspicious dispositions of renouncing the indulgence in woman is the conventional supreme virtue of celibacy.
What is the difference between real and conventional virtue, dharma?
The real virtue of supreme forgiveness, etc., acquired through pure form of auspicious dispositions, is the cause of liberation because it leads to stoppage of karmic influx and shedding of karmas. Whereas the auspicious disposition like forgiveness, etc., practiced conventionally is the cause of bondage of meritorious karma, punya bandh.
The aforementioned forms of real and conventional supreme forgiveness, etc., 10 virtues, are for ascetics. What about us?
Brother, virtues are the same for all. It is a different matter that the ascetics attain higher purity characterized by the absence of the most infinite binding, etc., three types of passions, whereas the householders, in accordance with their spiritual stage, abandon one or two such passions only and achieve partial purity of the self.
Beautiful. It was a long read, actually. We're talking about the type of the soul which takes its own refuge. How many, upgradations does it have? So there are two things which we'll be talking about this, because rest, I think every Daśalakṣaṇa Parva, each one of us are already, very much familiar with these names like Uttam, kṣamā, mārdava, ārjava, satya, śauca, saṃyama, tapa, tyāga, ākiñcanya, and brahmacarya. What today we'll be talking about the nishya and vyavhar, which in every definition it was repeated. Yeah, so the real, and then we have the vyavhar type of it. So what is happening is how I'll tell you what the nishya and vyavhar, they both are nayas. We have not done nayas yet. Nayas are point of views. Okay. So point of view is what, like, let's say there is this one coin, and here the coin from head side, it looks different. From tail side, it would have a different shape or something, right? It's the same coin, but you're seeing it from two different sides. And when you see it from two different sides, you get two different sceneries. Similarly, what is happening with a soul, we are saying that it has two things. Right now, it had its, let's say this is the complete pipe in which all the passions of the soul can be filled. Okay. So we are filling it completely. Okay. So I am not a Vitaragi Jiva, I am a Ragi Dveshi Jiva, and I have these many kashayas, I have these many passions, or this is this much of rag that I have. Vitaragi, the opposite of it is rag. So rag includes everything: Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, Hasya, Rati, Rati, Shok, Bhaya, Jugupsa, Srivit, Purushvit. So this is the whole of the rag or whole of the vikar that I have. Okay, this is the impurity of the soul. Understood, everybody? Fine. What I did, I realized myself through that introduction. I let go of all the wrong belief, grahit and agrahit. I started practicing the right virtues. So what it attacked this, it systematically, it attacked and reduced my vessel of rag. So what it first did, the moment I let go of mithyatva, both grahit and agrahit mithyadarshan, the majority of it, so let's have the notional division of this vessel. Okay, so this vessel, let's say, has four portions: one, two, three, four. Okay, everybody, let's divide this vessel into four passions. Okay, these are called four levels. So our kashayas are being valued from four levels. The first level is anantanubandhi, what we're calling it, Anantanubandhi, which we were time and again were reading about in this chapter. Anantanubandhi. This is those kashayas, the intensity is so high that their repercussion, they goes for infinite time. Anant Anubandh. So it is making, Anubandh is contract. Anant is infinite. The type of passion which will make you enter a contract with this sansar for infinite time. This is called Anantanubandhi Kashaya. So Kashaya is so intense. You're so cruel in your thoughts that you are not inviting some raw mild karmas. You're inviting the intensified karmic attack on you. So this is Antanubandhi Kashaya, and it will again have four types: Anantanubandhi Krodh, Anantanubandhi Man, Anantanubandhi Maya, and Anantanubandhi Lobh. Okay, I do not want to make it very complicated, and if you understand it this way, it will stay with you. Okay, so it's very simple. So I have this total, these four: Anantanubandhi, next is Apratyakhana Varan, big spelling, and then Pratyakhana Varan. Just remove the A from the above name. Pratyakhya, and I'm extremely sorry for my beautiful handwriting. And then last is Sanjwalan. Okay, every kashay will have the same types. Anantanubandhi, Krodhman Mayalop, Apratyakhyanavarin Krodhman Mayalop, Pratyakhyanavarin Krodhman Mayalop, and Sanchulan Krodhman Mayalop. All the kashayas will have the same four types. So if you multiply 4 by 4, it becomes the 16 types of kashayas. So Anantanubandhi Krodhman Mayalop 4, Pratyakhyanavarin Krodhman Mayalop, Pratyakhyanavarin Krodhman Mayalop, and Sanchulan Krodhman Mayalop. So understand like this. This is the complete vessel of all the passions that a passionate being is having. Having initiated into moksha marg, what I first did when I gotten rid of mithyatva, the mithyatva is best friends with Anantanubandhi Kashaya. Mithyatva is best friends with whom? Anantanubandhi. So the moment mithyatva left, Anantanubandhi said, I cannot also live here. My best friend is gone. I cannot live in this place because he has left. So now this 4 Kashaya Chokdi, it remains to 3 Kashaya Chokdi, with one area being empty. So you have Kashaya in 3 portions, and you have 1 portion left. So for 1 portion, the Anantanubandhi is gone. This first one is gone. Yes, everyone? Everybody? I do not want to overcomplicate it, but this is important if we get it. 4th is the first. The fourth means the most intensified. The Anantanubandhi is gone. Okay, everybody? So what has happened in soul? This vessel, it could include 4 types of kṣayas, but out of these 4 types, one got defeated. So there is empty void in the space of one. So what is happening in this empty void? This is not empty. This is where all my vitaragta is filled. That vitaragta is dispassionate state. I am getting without any passions in this portion. So I have 1/4 vitaragta, 3/4 of rag. Understood, everybody? The area you make empty becomes your vitaragta. For that much of space in your thoughts, you are vitaragi. And this space is the reason of your samvar nirjara. Because you're not having any bad thoughts here, because you're not having any thoughts here, you're vitaragi. So this portion is responsible for your stoppage and shedding of karma. And rest 3 of the portion are still rag. They are still present. And because of them, you are having ashrav bandh. You see how complex it has become? Everybody, please. This is very simple, but everybody has to understand it. Then only you'll be able to appreciate what is going on in this chapter. Okay? I know it's a bit complex. Should I draw it again? I'll draw it here in this side. Okay? So this is my box of all the charitra. Charitra is my conduct. Abhi, I was misusing it. So all the 4 boxes, 4 portion of it were filled with 4 kṣayas. But then I realized about self-purity. I corrected my belief. I took a step. What did it do? Of my charitra. Charitra is conduct, okay? Charitra is my acharan. Charitra is how I behave. So charitra. Charitra mohini kashaya ke karan I had these passions. I let go of mithyatva. So the first type of kashaya, which is anantanubandhi, it left. I have now apratyakhyanavaran, pratyakhyanavan, sanjulan. So I have 1/4 vitaragata and 3/4 of kashaya. Everybody makes sense? Understood? So this will be called ek chokdi kashaya gone, 3 chokdi kashaya. Chokdi is 4. So Anantanubandhi has a chokdi of Krodman Mayalok. Our Pratyakhyanavarana has a chokdi of Krodman Mayalok. So they have team of 4. So Anantanubandhi's 4 team is called Anantanubandhi chokdi. It is gone. The moment I studied Grahit Mithyatva and Agrit Mithyatva chapter, and I said, I'm not going to be deluded. So when my Mithyatva gone, then Anantanubandhi said, oh, my best friend is gone. So Anantanubandhi's kashaya cannot live without Mithyatva. So it left. It left, so it left a void behind it. That void is my space. Here, my natural vitaragata has filled this void. This much I am relaxed. Okay, everybody. Then I got further motivated by my gurus, and they told me, okay, Anubhav, why don't you take vratas, which we'll be doing in the next class, 12 vratas. So because I took 12 vratas, there was immediate push to a pratyakhyanavarana kashaya. And it left 2. The second one, the 4th and the 3rd are gone. Because of the Deshvratas, I am all the more calmer. I am all the more contented. I have lesser desires, lesser things to be worried. Because I am vrati. So I have 2/2 vitaragta and 2/4 vitaragta and 2/4 kashayas. This is 5th gunasthan. But then what I did, I got Shri Guru and he said, okay, Anubhav, you're ready to take Diksha. You let go of all these tension of, your family, your business, your household chores. Let it go. You can do it. I said, okay, very well. I'll do Mahavratas. So now even the Pratyakhyanavarana kashaya left. So I have only one kashaya left, which we call Sanjwalan, the very weak kashaya, which is as good as no kashaya. Yeah. And I have this much of vitaragta void is left. This is called teen kashaya ke abhav wali vitaragta. This is what was being defined in every definition. For Muniraj, There is anantanubandhi, apratyakhyanavaran, pratyakhyanavar kashayas gone. So because of this absence, he has vitaragata upsurged. He has now the vitaragata in him. How much vitaragata? 3 chaukdi kashay ke abhav wali vitaragata. So this much of void he has in his thoughts. His conduct is corrected to this level, 75% level. Okay? And 1% level is rag that he has. Okay, understood everybody? Understood. This is simple. Now you see why did I say that there are the two sides to the single coin. So you see a Muniraj. Okay, there is a Muniraj who is sitting in jungle. Okay, and writing a granth. Okay, so he's writing a granth. Everybody. So he's writing granth for us. So he has a good benevolent thought that okay, bhava jivo ka upkar hoga. So is it a thought of rag or dvesh, rag or vitaragta? It is a rag. He has a thought. So because of this thought, will he attract the karmic bondage or will samvar nirjara will happen? Tell me. So he still has this much account for rag. So because of his this rag, he will have ashrav and bandh. What type of karma bandh he will have? Punya ashrav, meritorious karma, prashast karma, because this is sensual in Kashay. It's a good thought. But then is he not a Vitaragi Muniraj? Are he is Vitaragi na? While he is doing this rag, his 3/4 of the portion is left Vitaragi. And because of this, he is also having samvar nirjara. Yes. So he is having uttam kṣamā from Nishay, from the point of view of this Vitaragta state. And he is having Vyavahar Uttam Kṣamā that he is caring for Shatkai ke jīva from the state of Kashay. So from Vyavahar Uttam Kṣamā, he is getting bonded with karma. Prashast karma, Punya karma. And for Nishay Uttam Kṣamā, he is shedding his karma. He is progressing on the path of Moksha Marga. Understood, everybody? This is quite complex. I'll share the chapter again, read the last one. The aforementioned forms of real and conventional supreme forgiveness, etc., 10 virtues are for ascetics. What about us? Sorry, Upar. What is the difference between real and conventional virtue? When I say for a monk to save some animals, to save some organism is Uttam Kṣamā. To save is the rag, is the kashay. I am saying that Uttam Kṣamā from conventional point of view, from the point of view of Sanjval and Kashay, and it will attract the good karmas to that Muniraj. But when I am saying Muniraj is Shuddhopayogi and that's why he is Uttam Kṣamā, I am referring to the definition of Uttam Kṣamā from Vitaragta account. And from that point, he is having samvar nirjara. Understood? It's the same thing. The Muniraj is same. And his actions are same because his charitra has this multifunctionality in it. So see, the real virtue of supreme forgiveness acquired through pure form of auspicious dispositions is the cause of liberation because it leads to stoppage of karmic influx and shedding of karmas. Whereas auspicious dispositions like forgiveness practiced conventionally is the cause of bondage of meritorious karma, punya bandha. Understood, everybody? This is important. Let's also read about the definition of Uttam Kṣamā. You will be able to appreciate the definition now. Let's do it. In the absence of the 3 intense passions that are infinite bonding, anantanubandhi, obstructing renunciation, apratyakhyanavaran, and hindering partial renunciation, pratyakhyanavarana. Anantanubandhi, apratyakhyanavaran, pratyakhyanavarana. The pure manifestation of spatial conduct that arises in enlightened monks is called real supreme 10 virtues. So that is real Uttam Kṣamā. What is real Uttam Kṣamā? Real Uttam Kṣamā is this, the absence of 3 types of kashayas. And because of in that void, the coming of vitaragta. This is Nishay Dharma. Okay, everybody? And what is Vyavahar Dharma? and the naturally occurring auspicious dispositions such as forgiveness, kṣamā, in such monks at that spiritual level is called supreme 10 virtues from karmational viewpoint vyavahara, which are in the form of merit, which are happening because of this 1/4 kṣaya left. Sanjulan kṣaya. Arihantas are not having this. Arihantas have only, he has complete all the 4 levels empty. So they are completely vitaragi. Okay, everyone. So this is the most important part of this chapter which needs to be understood. And then you can make all the definition of all the 10 dharmas. What is Nishchay Sanyam? What is Vyavahar Sanyam? Nishchay Sanyam is Vitaragta originating out of the absence of these 3 kashayas. Vyavahar Sanyam is caring for Shatkai jivas, not giving into your sensory desires. That is Vyavahar. So he is getting Punya Bandha because of Vyavahar practices, and he's getting vitaragata and samvar nirjara because of the Nishchay Daśalakṣaṇa dharmas. Okay, everyone? Simple. Think on this. In the next session, we'll be discussing about it. Let's do Gandhar for this chapter for the timing because it's almost time.
Thank you, Anubhavji. We have Reena ji who will be presenting.
Jai Jinendra, everyone. So, for this chapter, basically, I'll start with the previous chapter that we learned. That was Who Am I? So, in this world right now, all being surrounded by so many distractions, delusions, and wants and desires that we tend to forget who we are and what is our purpose in life. We do find purpose in materialistic things, but then we can't go deeper inside very easily. So as we learned, who am I? So we've come to know who we are, but to accept it and to practice it and to really go deeper into it, we need some platform, some base, or I would say some channel, some pathway. So I feel this Daśalakṣaṇa is one of the ways that can take you more deeper into yourself by knowing, like just knowing, yes, I am the soul, I'm the knower, I'm not the doer. Every time you know it, but then you tend to forget in your day-to-day life. So festivals, yes, they are celebrations, they are good things. So this Jain festival, I think, gives you an opportunity to dive inside who you are, like take that 10 days to yourself and read more, like you become more conscious, more aware that okay, no, I want to do it with intention. Like every day we are doing, we are reading, we are knowing, but we are not, we are practicing, but we are still getting carried away by the worldly things. So then during this festival you get an opportunity to be there, learn there, and uh, understand that what is the true way to shred your karmas. Only when the karmas, the 3 type of karmas that are like covering your body, is when they are gone, is when you can truly experience yourself. So just by practicing simple things. So I really like this part where you explain how the Muni has reached that level. So everyone's ultimate goal is to become a Muniraj or to attain salvation. But how do you do it? You know, you don't know how to do it. You know, okay, you rag dvesh, you don't have to think this, you don't have to do that. But how do you reach that deep? So very well explained with this 4 compartments that you explained, that our soul is right now, it's filled with so many karmas and it is so tight that there is no space for change. So when you shred your delusion, the first, like you're opening your door to first believing that this is not real, and you know, you're stopping yourself from first believing that what you're seeing around is not real, but what you really are is within you. So I think that's the first step to go inwards. That's the start of it. And very rightly said that that mithyatva, the delusion, when it stops, you automatically, that vitaragta comes, the rag is gone, and that helps to see so many things very differently and accept things very differently. I think that's where the process starts. This is my takeaway for me, that when you start thinking differently, okay, the attachment in everything starts going, the shredding part, as you say, starts. So I think in day to day life, when you believe everything is a delusion, you can kind of connect to yourself more, then attach yourself to the outer world, knowing. So that's first step of knowing. And I think in this 10 days of the festival, and when you're practicing, you're going closer to the monkhood and experiencing that, by fasting or by doing tapa or by doing the prayers, that you're more with your thoughts, you're more aligned, you're not distracted, and you're more focused to go more inward. And that gives you a push to do this more often, and make you realize, in that 10 days you do realize, you really feel very happy. Like I have experienced it, like when I'm doing it, that 10 days I'm much calmer, I'm much my thoughts are more collected. I know what is right to do. I'm not diverted by the worldly pleasures, because no, I have to do this for 10 days for myself. And that makes you really think that this is what I really want for myself, because this gives you the ultimate satisfaction and joy and the peace that uh, you are looking for otherwise. So going more deeper with, I think this is a motivation to go more deeper for me. That's what I would try to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so how these 10 virtues, they also become like the initial part. At the last of this chapter, it has been mentioned that, is it meant for the ascetics, for the Muniraj, or is it for us as well? And it is said that, okay, they are doing it at an advanced level, but these all are virtues and everybody is free to practice it. So like you saying that it is very motivational, it encourages you. This is a really good takeaway from this chapter, that these 10 virtues are the 10 good things that we all want to imbibe in ourselves, and they should be great motivators, and they should also become our introduction. So that's it. We talked about who we are today, and we also tried seeing how our levels of kashai decide the type of person we become, and like whether are we going in the team of Samvar Nirjara or in the team of Ashraman. So we'll learn more about this in the next chapter, where we'll be introducing to us, like in the chapter of Mithyatva, we talked about Anantanubandhi. Now, in the chapter of 12 virtues of woes of householder, we'll be talking about apratyakhyanavaran and pratyakhyanavaran kashaya. So what we discussed today will become much easier to digest and comprehend. Okay, let's do Jinvani Stuti. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है, उसके लिए चिन्हवाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है. 9 times Shloka. Sarv Chinindra Bhagwanto ki jai ho. द्वादशांग